celebration. My name is Erin Agnew, and I've been a volunteer at Graeme Park since 2011. I am so excited to share some of our favorite legends and stories and celebrate the holiday with you safely at home.
And I'm Beth and I've been here for just about 25 years. And I'm excited to do this too, because this year we cannot do it here at the house with crowds of people, but we're going to give you what's for here virtually.
So I'll let you know a little bit about how this year's Halloween celebration will work. We have a couple videos that we're going to share with everyone for free. You can enjoy them as much as you'd like anytime by logging onto our Facebook page. These videos are going to include a couple classic Halloween legends and some of our favorite ghost stories of the house. Now, if you want to hear the really scary stuff, we'll ask you to buy a ticket, just like you normally would, with a suggested donation. If you buy a ticket by clicking the link on our Facebook page, you will get a special passcode that will allow you to watch a longer video, where Beth and I are going to walk through the house, share some of our personal experiences with ghosts here at Graeme Park, and get really scary. You'll also get a link to an opportunity to chat with me later on during Halloween weekend, live, where you can ask questions and have discussions about what you saw in the video, as well as ask for a tarot reading, guided by some of the spirits who are here with us today. Now that you understand how Halloween is going to work this year, Beth will start us with a little bit of an intro to the history of the house.
The Keith House has been here since 1722. So there have been a lot of people that have walked those floorboards or out here on the ground. It was built by Governor Keith. It was sold to his son-in-law, Dr. Thomas Graham, in 1739. His daughter, his youngest daughter, Elizabeth, lived here until 1801. Yes. And it's Elizabeth that has the most intrigue. That maybe with her life and what it was, through the Revolutionary War and her husband joining the British, so she was considered a traitor as well as he was. Maybe that's why people hear things that go bump in the night. Maybe her spirit is still restless.
Thank you so much for joining us, and we can't wait to see you inside. Happy Halloween!
Welcome to the summer kitchen at Graeme Park. This kitchen was staffed by slaves and indentured servants in the mid-1700s. Now they had to get over here, especially the indentured servants that came from Germany and Ireland. They came over on a ship, and that was miserable enough. Running out of fresh water, running out of fresh food, and they watched so many of their family members and friends die before they even got here. But when they did get here, was it the promised land? No. For 7 long years, they worked without pay to pay back the cost of their ticket over. They worked long, hard hours in this kitchen, as well as many kitchens like this. This oven is where they cooked. They had a fire that had to be going long before daybreak, and they worked very hard. And when the day was done, they went up these steps here, up to a tiny little peaked roof, and they rolled onto their pallets and slept for a few hours before they did it all again, burning themselves and sometimes dying from the exhaustion. Are they all gone, though? And here we are more than 250 years later. The question is, have these servants really left yet? You know, there have been a few reports swirling around this kitchen. One of them was our friend Erin, who you've met in our introductions. She was in this kitchen one night telling a story about those indentured servants and their trip over here on the boat. This had candles in it. When she reached a point about her whole family dying on that ship, these candles flared up and put marks on the ceiling. Another story happened when one of our reenactors was cooking, doing a cooking demonstration. And as she bent over the fire, something pulled her hair back. It's not safe to be in here when your hair is loose. Is this place really haunted? That's up for your imagination.
Me into the parlor here at Graeme Park. The parlor is still one of the most beautiful rooms in the house today, but it used to be even grander. The parlor would be where many of the feasts, balls, and celebrations that the Graeme family held happened when they were here at their home. And Elizabeth Graeme had many fond memories in this room. But remember, as Beth told you, Elizabeth suffered in her adult life when the Continental Army seized her home and all of the possessions she had in the world inside this house and sold it out from under her at auction. We can only imagine Elizabeth's sorrow as all of the beautiful reminders of the happy times she had in this house were ripped from her hands. And perhaps that's why someone's spirit still lingers here in the parlor. The best example we have of this happened in the 1970s. A documentary film crew, as many have before, came to film a short series of historical documentaries at Graeme Park. They were setting up specific scenes in the parlor, and as the sun started to go down, they set up for the next morning's filming, packed up their equipment, and made sure everything in the parlor was perfect so they could start right away in the morning. They set the hands of the clock to 3 p.m. They closed the door, sealed the windows, turned on the alarm system, and museum staff locked the house and left. When they came back in the morning, the clock hands had turned to midnight. The next day, they set them again, continued to film, left for a lunch break, set the clock hands to 3 p.m. as they wanted them to appear on film. And when they came back, the clock hands had returned to midnight. Someone was trying to send a message, a warning, or simply tell us that we were running out of time. Welcome to the main bedroom here at Graeme Park. During Elizabeth's youth, this would have been her parents, Dr. Thomas Graeme and his wife Anne Diggs Graeme's bedroom. This is also where Elizabeth had one of the most tragic experiences of her life. You may remember from previous tours of the house or reading about our history on your own that Elizabeth in her youth was engaged to William Franklin, Benjamin Franklin's illegitimate son. They were madly in love, but neither of their parents approved, and William broke off the engagement. Elizabeth was broken-hearted and did not find love again until she met Henry Hugh Ferguson at one of her literary salons. Henry was a penniless Scottish poet and a firm loyalist. In fact, their marriage and Henry Hugh's loyalties to the crown is what caused Elizabeth to see all of her worldly possessions sold out from beneath her. And it was in this room where Elizabeth stood at the window behind me, trying to build up the courage to tell her father that she had secretly married this man, of whom he firmly disapproved. She stood at the window and watched her father walk up the front path from a ride around the beautiful parkland and property. She watched him approach, and she practiced in her mind what she would say to him. She would apologize. She would ask for his forgiveness. She would explain how deeply in love she felt. And as he began to move towards the front door of the mansion, he fell to the ground, and Elizabeth watched him breathe his final breaths. Later, he died in this room of heart failure. Elizabeth wrote in her journal the night that he died that she was almost glad that she had not told him of her secret marriage before he died. Otherwise, she would have lived the rest of her days thinking that she had caused his death. But in this very room, guests have heard footsteps upstairs as they tore through the house, and museum staff have had some trouble with one of the closets. There are 2 closets built into the opposite wall, and one door locks and unlocks itself. You can hear the clicking of the knob, and you can't open it because no one has a key any longer. So how is it locking and unlocking itself? And who is trying to tell us not to keep secrets to ourselves behind locked doors for too long?
As you see, Graeme Park has many beautiful landscape features, not the least of which is our waterfall and our pond. Now, in Elizabeth's time, she used to sit out here quite frequently. Remember, her husband left her to join the British, and after the war, he never came back. But she would spend many hours on her property, searching the horizon, seeing if Henry was coming over the next hill. When ghosts and spirits make their presence known, it's usually in an area where they have had an intense emotional experience. Elizabeth clearly was emotional, looking for her husband's return. Now, there's a story that pilots from the airbase, which was right over those trees, they reported how they saw lights on the pond, ghostly shapes and figures as they were bringing their plane down to land. It's never been proven, but it's never been disproven. What do you